After marrying Joseph in my sister's place, I unexpectedly got pregnant. I remembered our wedding night, how Joseph cherished me, calling me honey over and over. My heart sank. He must be head over heels for my sister. If he found out the truth, I'd be a goner too. I threw away the pregnancy test and packed my bags to leave without a second thought. 2 days later, I was at a coffee shop haggling with my sister. "Give me $5 million, and I'll get rid of the baby." Suddenly, someone grabbed me by the collar from behind. A cold voice questioned. "My child is only worth $5 million? I'll give you $10 million, be a good girl and have it." "Sweetheart, you don't want to know the consequences of disobeying. I have a twin sister. We're not very close. I was lost as a child and grew up elsewhere until my family found me at 18. My sister, on the other hand, was doted on and grew up spoiled. Kids raised with excessive indulgence tend to be self-centered. My sister was like that too. For example, after her engagement to the Greens was set, she ran away. This marriage was the best match my parents could find for my sister, leveraging a life-saving favor from our grandparents' generation. The fiancé, only 26, was objectively handsome. His face alone gained countless fans during a financial news interview, and he was a good guy, never dated, a complete novice in love. He seemed like the perfect husband material in every way. But my sister still ran away. She took her suitcase and went abroad, leaving a mess of problems that had my parents frantic. My relationship with my parents isn't great either. They were panicking, and I was just watching the show, making snide remarks. Joseph will be furious if he finds out she skipped the wedding. Joseph was no ordinary person. He was a big shot in the capital. Our family could be ruined with a wave of his hand. Why is little sis so disobedient? What if he gets super angry and bankrupts our family? I was being a little brat, fanning the flames. My dad grabbed his cane, ready to hit me. Too bad for him, I'm quick on my feet, he couldn't catch me. From the second floor, I continued to provoke him. "The wedding is next week, no bride though." I thought I'd at least make my dad really mad. Who knew, upon hearing this, he put down his cane and squinted at me. His gaze sent a chill down my spine. He suddenly said, "Who said there's no bride?" I was curious. "What, did sis agree to come back?" "She's gone, but aren't you still here? You two look exactly alike. What makes you think I'd listen to you?" The old man chuckled. $5 million. Crap. I actually would listen. I gritted my teeth. After taxes. "Honey, are you not done with your shower yet?" Someone knocked on the bathroom door. Through the frosted glass, a figure was vaguely visible. He asked worriedly, "It's been an hour, are you still not ready?" I looked up at the person outside the door, then down at the latest message on my phone. My sister had finally come to her senses. She decided to return to the country next week. She's coming back. Does that mean I, the stand-in, can finally leave? I said to Joseph, I was on my phone, "Don't rush me, I'm going to shower now." As soon as I finished speaking, the bathroom door was pushed open. A man, wearing only a loosely tied bath towel, entered the bathroom. We stared at each other. After a stunned 3 seconds, I got angry. "I didn't say you could come in." He walked up to me and picked me up. The water from the showerhead ran over the back of his hand, adjusted to the perfect temperature, and poured over me. It was the weekend, and I was only wearing a silk nightgown at home. Soaked through, it clung tightly to my body. Joseph looked down, his Adam's apple bobbing. He pressed me against the wall, his voice hoarse. "Didn't you leave the bathroom door unlocked to seduce me?" "No, I didn't." "Don't talk nonsense." "I forgot to lock it." Joseph's fingertips gently caressed my cheek. "Hold on tight, hubby will satisfy you." I instinctively wrapped my arms around his neck, realizing my mistake after doing so. Wait a minute. Wasn't I just questioning why he entered the bathroom without my permission? But it was too late. Joseph chuckled, his breath coming in short gasps. Good girl, you did great. Good kids get rewards. His voice is really nice. I was completely smitten, feeling dizzy as I asked, what kind of reward? The reward is. Don't give me that kind of weird reward. But Joseph's rewards never needed my acceptance, he delivered them automatically. After the delivery was complete, I lay limp in his arms. During our tender moments, he whispered sweet nothings, coaxing me. Very naughty. I buried my face in his chest and bit him, stop talking. He needed my ear, baby is so cute even when angry. I really wanted to refute him. But I was so tired and sleepy. I want to sleep. He gave me a goodnight kiss, good night, baby. I closed my eyes, ready to dream. Unexpectedly, I heard him say, sweetheart, let's have a baby. What? No way, the one married to him is my sister. My mind jolted, but my body didn't. My body dragged me into a sweet slumber. No time to refuse him. Joseph and I have been married for a year. I've been living under my sister's identity for a year. He really hasn't noticed anything amiss. He even wants to have a baby with me. Go have one with my sister. Speaking of which, my sister is coming back. It's Saturday. Every weekend Joseph and I have, if we're free, we stay home and don't go out. What we do at home is hard to guess. Joseph has abs. Abs don't just appear out of nowhere, of course. He has a good habit of working out. There's a separate gym at home. He used to work out alone, but after we got married, he started including me. For example, today, he's supervising my waist training. I begged him, can I please take a break? I'm so tired. He completely ignored my pleas, don't do things halfway. Tears welled up in my eyes, I really can't do it anymore. He sighed helplessly and ruffled my hair. Fine, then I'll work out today. I propped myself up on his chest, my pupils unfocused. You can't use me as workout equipment, hey. I stared blankly at Joseph's determined expression. Somehow, I thought again, the person beneath me is someone else's legal husband. He bit me in dissatisfaction, good girl, focus, I pressed my body against him and hugged him tightly, hubby. I think I'm starting to like you. He stopped his movements, cupped my face, and looked at me intently for a long time. More than like. Honey, I love you. But what can I do? I'm not your wife. My sister's marriage to Joseph was exchanged for a favor from their elders. My parents thought he was a good match, and Joseph's side stated that he needed a wife, so he didn't refuse either. I initially thought a marriage with no emotional foundation would be very dull. Maybe we'd see each other once a month to maintain the marital relationship. However, on our wedding day, when I came out of the bathroom toweling my still damp hair, the man in the room had also showered. I stood there, unsure what to do for a moment. He spoke, come here. Before the wedding night, Joseph and I had only met 3 times. The first time, I asked him out to dinner, partly to get to know him. The second time, we went to look at wedding dresses, and he adjusted my train. The third time was on the wedding day itself. He held my arm and, witnessed by all the guests, put the ring on my finger. That's all. Now, a man and a woman alone in a room. And, after showering, wearing only pajamas. My heart pounded, I was extremely nervous, and slowly walked towards him. My voice trembled with nervousness. Is there something you need? 3 steps away from him, I stopped. The next second, a pair of hands wrapped around my waist, and I fell straight into his arms. I looked up and met his deep eyes. Wedding night, wife, guess what's going to happen? My heart stopped. He's already calling me wife. Why is he so casual? His fingertips were burning hot, as if a fire had scorched the places he touched. Joseph unfastened the strap of my nightgown. I clutched his clothes. Do you know how? I shook my head, no. Before getting married, I had never even touched a man's hand. So nervous, so nervous, so nervous. I don't either. What should we do? My eyes lit up. Then let's do it next time. Forget about today. He pinched my chin and lowered his head. His fiery lips pressed against mine. He caressed places I had never even touched myself. My body went limp. Joseph chuckled. Wife, your body doesn't want to wait until next time. I bit my lip, suppressing the strange feeling. You're talking nonsense. He wiggled his glistening fingers. I'm the one talking nonsense. Good girls don't drool. What is he saying? Joseph didn't avoid my gaze, staring straight at me. For some reason, I felt like his gaze was like looking at a lost and found treasure. His lips parted slightly, and he put his own fingers in his mouth. He chuckled, sweet. I widened my eyes. He. Sweetheart, I've watched a lot of tutorials. You'll like it. The fantasy of marriage just being an extra nominal husband shattered. Replaced by a clingy man. I woke up and stared blankly at the chest in front of me. Someone ruffled my hair. Awake? Wait for me to finish this email and then we'll go eat, okay? I came back to my senses. Only then did I realize this was the study. Joseph was working. And I was sitting on his lap. Why didn't you carry me to bed to sleep? He said calmly, I wanted to hold you. He really is very clingy. A husband this clingy is rare. I wanted to get off his lap, but suddenly felt something was wrong. Joseph was looking at the computer, his long, slender fingers typing on the keyboard. Joseph. He kissed the top of my head. I'm here. I took a deep breath. I don't want kids for now. My sister is coming back. I can substitute Mary for money, but my child's father cannot be someone else's husband. He just finished and sent the email. Seeing that I was genuinely unhappy, Joseph apologized. I'm sorry, I thought after a year of marriage you'd agree to have children. If we were in a normal marriage, we could consider having a child. But, we're not. Let's wait a while longer, I'm a bit unprepared to be a mom. Joseph replied softly, okay. Not happy. My chest feels tight. I changed the subject. What are we eating later? Joseph closed his computer. Shall we go to that place you bookmarked last time, sweetie? I've bookmarked so many. Which one? Japanese food. Okay. I want sukiyaki. That day, after eating Japanese food, we didn't go straight home. We held hands and wandered aimlessly on the streets. Passing by a pharmacy, I stopped. Joseph tilted his head. Baby? I instructed him, go buy me a pack of birth control pills. He stood still. I pinched his arm. Go on. Joseph disobeyed. No. He hugged me, his chin resting on top of my head. Emergency contraception is bad for your body, don't take it. What if I get pregnant? You're in your safe period these few days, baby. Trust me, you won't. Looking at the pregnancy test in my hand, I remembered that conversation. How could I have believed a man's nonsense? I was already unhappy, and when my phone screen lit up, I became even more unhappy. The message received was, your sister is back in the country. Get ready to switch back. I got paid to be a substitute bride. It's only right that I leave when my sister returns. The next day, the meeting time with my parents was in the afternoon. In the morning, I went to the hospital for a checkup. After 2 hours of fuss, I got a pregnancy test report. At 2 in the afternoon, I sat on the terrace of a coffee shop. As autumn set in, the weather gradually cooled. Today, the temperature dropped sharply, and the wind was chilly. I pulled my coat tighter and sipped my hot milk while waiting. The child definitely cannot be kept. Joseph is my sister's husband. If the child is born, it's destined to be illegitimate. And would have to call its own father uncle. I shivered. Too horrifying. I touched my belly. It's only the size of a green bean right now. It doesn't have a heart yet, so will it hurt if it's aborted? I'm really not a good mother. I'm sorry, baby. But you came at such a wrong time. My parents love my sister so much, they definitely wouldn't want the child to be born either. My milk was getting cold when my parents arrived late with my sister. My sister still looked like she was half dead. As soon as she sat down, she started playing on her phone, ignoring everyone. She's not the decision maker, so I glanced at her and then looked away. Before my parents spoke, I put the pregnancy report on the table. My dad frowned. "What's this?" I answered in the same calm and collected manner Joseph uses at work, "A pregnancy report." "I'm pregnant." My dad's voice rose. "What? You're pregnant?" I signaled him to be quiet. "Dad, you don't want me and the child to ruin sister's happiness, do you?" My sister looked up, gave me a strange look, then went back to her game. "What do you mean?" I picked up my cup and took a tactical sip of milk. "What I mean is, if you want me to abort the child, you have to give me some benefits. Otherwise, guess what Joseph will do if I tell him the truth?" My mother stood up abruptly, but my father pressed her down. "How much do you want?" I smiled. 10 million. 10 million, and I'll get rid of the baby. I'll never appear in front of Joseph again. My dad clenched his fists. 5 million. Me, deal. Sure enough, when making demands, aim high. I happily typed my bank account number in the chat box, and without looking up, said to my dad, "I send the account number to your WhatsApp. As soon as I receive the money, I'll immediately go for the aber." The word abortion was not yet finished. I suddenly smelled a faint scent of bitter orange leaves. Joseph always smells like this. I bought a bunch of perfumes, and finally decided that the one with a bitter orange leaf base note suited him best. He's very obedient, he uses whatever I like. Why would a coffee shop have this scent? I had a bad feeling. Sure enough, the next second, a large hand lifted a strand of my hair. A man's chin rested on my shoulder. His voice was right next to my ear. It was a cold, obsessive tone I had never heard before. "My child is only worth 5 million? Sweetheart, 10 million, and you'll dutifully give birth to this child." He turned my head, a slight smile on his lips, but no warmth in his eyes. "Otherwise, how is he here?" His timing couldn't be more perfect, or imperfect, and he heard everything. "Honey, listen to my explanation." "Wait a minute. Something seems off." "Listen to my explanation." Joseph wouldn't listen. He kissed me right in front of my parents and my sister. I widened my eyes and glared at him. In broad daylight, what is he doing? Joseph sensed my anger. He just gave me a light peck, then stepped back slightly and ruffled my hair. "I'm not even angry yet, Lauren. What are you angry about?" "How does he know my name is Lauren?" "That's my name. My adoptive mother gave it to me. My sister's name isn't that." Seeing Joseph let go of me, my dad put on a fawning smile. "Joseph, what brings you here today?" "You've got the wrong person, this is my other daughter, she." My dad didn't finish his sentence. My sister stood up, still looking half dead. She said lazily to Joseph, "Manage your wife, don't bother me. Remember to transfer the money to my account." I interjected, "What? What money? What transfer to her account?" My sister looked at me leisurely, as if remembering something. "Speaking of which, you two haven't gotten your marriage license yet, have you?" "Me, huh? Didn't you marry him?" My dad had shown me a marriage certificate with her and Joseph's names on it. That one I bought on internet for $2. The photo was photoshopped with you and him, didn't you notice? My sister slung her bag over her shoulder and slowly drifted away like a ghost. "I thought you two were playing some kind of brother-in-law role-play for kicks. A year and you still haven't sealed the deal. And the wife still wants to abort the child. Someone's husband is a real failure." She drifted further and further away, disappearing around the corner, leaving behind a bewildered me, and a very grim-faced Joseph. And my parents. Joseph's gaze swept over me lightly. Between him and my parents, I still have to choose. I reached out my hand, feigning helplessness. "I'll go with you." Carry me. Joseph looks really angry. But he's super easy to appease. I wrapped my arms around his neck, pretending nothing happened, and kissed him. Thanks, hubby, hubby's the best. Him, really? I said with a straight face, completely ignoring the fact that I was just trying to sell our child. Yup. Joseph sneered, so thick-skinned. What's wrong with being thick-skinned? Don't say it out loud. Back in the car, Joseph was looking at my pregnancy report. I leaned over to look with him. He put me on his lap, his chin resting on top of my head. This value, is it 4 weeks? The doctor said 32 days. I pinched him. You said it was a safe period and I wouldn't get pregnant. I'm going to beat you up. He turned me around. I sat on his lap facing him. Joseph leaned down, offering his face. I'm sorry, baby. Do you want to hit my face or somewhere else? Sometimes he's really, really obedient. I stroked Joseph's eyebrows and eyes. I really don't understand why my sister ran away from the marriage. Forget reality, even those heavily edited pretty boys online aren't as handsome as him. Handsome, rich, a romantic, and a virgin. He's literally perfect husband material. I lightly patted Joseph's face, his warmth spreading to my palm. I don't actually have this kind of fetish. Usually, he's more dominant. I really enjoy the feeling of him coaxing me. But now, he looks so obedient. Joseph looked at me without blinking, his deep black eyes reflecting only me. I was itching to do something. Whatever. A faint blush appeared on his handsome face. It was the first time I hit him, a little nervous. He wouldn't get angry, right? I peeked at him. Joseph's Adam's apple bobbed. I said confidently, you let me hit you, you can't get angry. He lowered his head and kissed my palm. I'm not angry. Good girl did great. Every time he calls me good girl, I feel like I'm floating on air. I blinked. Really? The kiss traveled from my palm to my wrist. Really? It's all my fault for getting baby pregnant. Does good girl want to beat up the bad thing that got you pregnant? Is the bad thing referring to him or? I was bewitched, yes. To say Joseph is super easy to appease is not wrong at all. I was going to give him back to my sister and was even prepared to sell our child. And yet, he's apologizing to me. I lowered my eyes. Joseph was now carefully wiping my palm with a wet wipe. There was a red mark on my palm from hitting him. He rubbed my wrist and asked me, do you like it? I didn't answer. I stared at him for a long while. I slowly asked, what did my sister mean just now? It's like they're ganging up to trick me. Joseph paused. He looked up, his eyes strange. Like resentment, like blame. As if I had wronged him very, very much. Being looked at by him made me feel extremely guilty. I covered his eyes. Why are you looking at me like that? What do you mean? Tell me quickly. Stop looking at me. He suddenly asked me, do you know me? Of course I know you. Aren't we a fake couple? Joseph took my hand down and sighed. You little heartless thing, I shouldn't have had any illusions about you. What's wrong with being heartless? Heartless people live so happily. Damn it. But I've known you for many years. When I returned to this current home, my parents asked if I remembered anything from my childhood. I said no. They breathed a sigh of relief. Actually, I remembered. I remember I wasn't lost, but kidnapped. At that time, my parents' company had just started to make some money, and my sister and I were kidnapped. 20 years ago, public safety was also worse than it is now. The kidnappers demanded ransom from them. 100,000 per person. They could afford 200,000. But my dad wouldn't pay. They only prepared ransom for one child, hoping the kidnappers would mercifully let the other one go. Then, my sister was rescued. I was thrown into the river. Under the icy, murky river water, I watched them weep over their recovered sister. Water rushed into my mouth and nose, and my last blurred thought was, Oh, so I was abandoned. I didn't die. A woman pulled me out. When I woke up, she asked me whose child I was, where my parents were, and how I fell into the water. I shook my head. I don't have a mommy and daddy anymore. She felt extremely sorry for me and held me in her arms. From now on, I'll be your mommy. My adoptive mother was from the South. She worked in the capital for a while, and later, as development in the South picked up, she took me back to her hometown. It was a coastal city. A typical subtropical monsoon climate. Hot and humid in the summer, damp and cold in the winter. Her income wasn't high, so I didn't go to preschool. When I was little, I spent all day playing with other kids. I had many playmates. Kids from my adoptive mother's workplace, kids in the neighborhood, kids I met on the street. As long as they were kids, they had to play with me. I grew up happily in that southern city. Elementary school, middle school, high school. The year I graduated from high school, after the college entrance exams, I excitedly showed my mom my scores. She smiled and smiled, then coughed up blood. It was only then I learned that, to let me focus on my studies, she had hidden her illness from me. She dragged it on, until it reached the terminal stage. Her income wasn't high, a drop in the bucket for her serious illness. She chose not to get treatment, but to leave the money for me. Lauren is still so young. The luckiest thing in Mom's life was meeting you. I didn't want to hear these words. But the savings on hand were indeed not enough for her surgery. I thought of my biological parents. Based on those fragmented memories and my face, I located my sister who had been doted on and pampered. I brought Mom back to the capital. I pestered my parents for a lot of money. And because I only asked my biological parents for money, they had no affection for me to begin with, and disliked me even more. Mom's illness recovered a year ago. I originally planned to take Mom away after watching my sister's drama unfold. Who knew a job opportunity worth $5 million a year suddenly came up? If I missed this, how many jobs would I have to work in the future? Substitute marriage, well, my sister has to come back eventually. When she comes back, I'll take the money and leave with Mom. Who knew my sister and Joseph would team up to trick me? I can't leave alone, and there's a baby in my belly. Joseph definitely won't agree to let me go. As for when Joseph met me, who knows? He wasn't in my life's trajectory. I looked up at the sky. Let's not worry about how long you've known me, it's not important. Joseph said faintly, it's very important. I said perfunctorily, okay, it's very important. Not at all curious how he met me. I only care, were you serious just now? Joseph was very patient. About what? I got excited, the part about giving me $10 million if I have the baby. Will you really give me $10 million if I have it? Joseph's gaze was complicated. I said to myself, since you're not married, then it's okay to have it. Oh, that's not right either. I can't just have the baby and then leave it with you and run away, right? That sounds like human trafficking. I can accept aborting the child, but I can't accept giving it to someone else after it's born. I thought for a moment and came up with a perfect solution. Why don't you marry me? Then we can raise the child together. Mom actually quite likes the capital, otherwise she wouldn't have come here when she was young. The city is well developed, the scenery is nice, and the medical care is top-notch. It's just that the cost of living is too high. We can't afford a big house in the capital, and our quality of life will be much lower. If Joseph doubles the money for me, then I can buy Mom a bigger house. The baby can be born, and I don't have to leave. Besides, I quite like him. It's a win-win situation. I blinked at him. Well? Joseph froze. He didn't speak for a long time. I felt a little deflated. Is that not okay? My suggestion is clearly great. Joseph pinched my chin and kissed me. I've been kissed by him so many times, I've developed a conditioned reflex. I wrapped my arms around his neck, adjusted my breathing, cooperated with him, felt him. When the kiss ended, his voice was slightly hoarse. Lauren, are you proposing to me? Is this a proposal? I asked him if he wanted to get married. I paused for a moment. I guess so. He hugged me tightly. Next time, let me do this kind of thing. Let him propose? It's been a year, and I still thought he saw me as my sister. Expecting him to do it is like expecting pigs to fly. I said what I was thinking out loud. Then I'll never get married in this lifetime. Joseph squinted his eyes, a dangerous aura emanating from him. He slowly took off his watch. The strap unfastened. My heart skipped a beat, and my ears turned beet red. What are you doing? Don't do this, I'm pregnant. I wasn't wrong, you're the one who doesn't speak up and says nothing. Every time he makes this gesture, it means I'm going to die a little. Why is his mind always full of this stuff? I don't think he likes me at all, he only likes my body. Joseph wouldn't listen to me. He knelt on the back seat of the car. Proving with actions. He opened his mouth. I covered my eyes. I hate you. Not that kind of opening his mouth. My sister running off abroad was Joseph's doing. It was all to smoothly transfer the marriage contract to me. I snuggled in Joseph's arms, watching him transfer $5 million to my sister. I was green with envy. I poked his chest. My sister didn't have to do anything and you gave her $5 million. Why do I only get $10 million for having a baby? Joseph ruffled my hair. You asked for $10 million yourself. I was just going along with what you wanted at the time. I widened my eyes. So you're not planning to give me any money? Joseph pinched my cheek. All my money is yours. I was completely dejected. It's over. This answer. It really looks like he's not planning to give me any money. Not happy. I wriggled out of his embrace. I'm going to sulk for a bit. Joseph scooped me back up. Check your phone. I fumbled for my phone. I received a bank text message. $10 million credited. I counted the zeros several times, confirmed I didn't miscount, and immediately cheered up. Thank you. Joseph looked at me with a smile. Good girl, change the way you address me. I lowered my voice in his ear. Thank you, Daddy. Why is he like this? Now he wants me to call him that even when we're not in bed. So bad. Joseph's breathing grew heavier. Sweetheart, I meant for you to call me hubby. Turns out I'm the one with a dirty mind. You don't need a household registration book to get a marriage certificate now. But if I get married, I definitely have to tell Mom. That time a year ago doesn't count. Marrying someone as a substitute is work. Marrying for myself is another matter entirely. Mom lives in the east side of the city, in a rented 2-bedroom apartment. The house is neat and tidy. I had told her in advance that I would bring my boyfriend home today. Mom cooked a table full of dishes, all my favorites. I rested my head on my hand and watched her chat with Joseph. How did you meet our Lauren? I pricked up my ears. He can't possibly answer we met when we got married, right? Joseph was at ease. We knew each other as children, and reunited a year ago. Auntie, do you still remember me? When did this happen? Mom looked Joseph up and down, then suddenly had a look of realization. Are you the child Lauren found? Joseph nodded. My mom's tone softened considerably, and she sighed. So it's you. Lauren takes after me, always picking people up. My mom went to her room and found an old photo. In the photo, I was a little kid, and next to the little kid was a slightly older boy. I looked at it for a while. This boy looked very, very similar to Joseph. How did he grow up so proportionally? I touched my own face. I look different from when I was little. I'm prettier now. Mom asked all sorts of questions. Joseph answered everything. At night, Joseph stayed at my place. The 2-bedroom apartment didn't have an extra room, and since he was a guest, it wasn't right to make him sleep on the sofa. My room was given to him, and I slept with Mom. Before going to bed, I ran to my room to say goodnight to him. Then I saw Joseph sitting at my desk, staring blankly at my diary. It was originally on my little shelf, but Joseph had taken it out. I hugged him from behind. messing with my things, you're so bad. He played with my hand, I mess with you too. I didn't respond. You can flip through the diary if you want, but don't you dare use my clothes for naughty things later, okay? Joseph takes 1 or 2 of my clothes with him when he goes on business trips. And video calls me. Now this is my room, and this house only has 1 bathroom outside. And Mom will come in to tidy up tomorrow. Joseph replied, okay. I pouted. He had indeed thought about it. He added, I just took it down from the bookshelf. I didn't read your diary. I took the initiative to open it. You can flip through it. Most of my things are back home. This was written after I came to the capital. It's my diary from after I turned 18. Mom kept my things very well. We've moved several times, but everything is still here. I glanced at the time, afraid Mom would be unhappy if I stayed too long. I gave him a kiss, and not trusting him, reminded him again, Daddy can explore my room, but don't you dare use my clothes for naughty things, okay? The soundproofing here is terrible. It's getting late, I'm going to bed now, good night. After saying that, I quickly ran off. Mom was waiting for me in the next room. Seeing me come back, she looked up. I thought you two would be all lovey-dovey for a while longer. My cheeks were a little red. I went up and hugged Mom. How could I? She patted my head and sighed, my baby's all grown up. We turned off the lights and talked in the dark. You were just a tiny little thing when I found you, and now you're getting married. I listened to her ramble on about the past. As she talked, Mom's voice got quieter and quieter. She fell asleep. I tucked her in. My phone screen lit up. It was a message from Joseph. He sent me a page from my diary. It said, I bumped into someone in Building A today. His chest muscles were huge. I want to find someone like that in the future. If I'm unhappy, I can just bury my face in his chest. It would feel so comfortable. Damn it, I didn't look up at the time. I don't know if he was handsome or not. Oh my God, Lauren, what's wrong with you? How can you have this kind of stuff in your diary? I typed, listen to my explanation. He replied, the person you bumped into was me. Huh? Joseph sent me many photos one after another. He said they were all him. For example, before an elective class, I stayed up all night and slept through the entire class. After class, my classmates discussed how handsome the substitute teacher was. The substitute teacher was him. Such a pity, I didn't see what the substitute teacher looked like. How handsome was he that they kept talking about him? I slept through the whole class. He actually didn't call on me. Whatever, handsome or not, he's a really good teacher. Another example, Mom's condition worsened for a while, and I was crying in the hospital. Someone handed me a tissue. I didn't look up, just said thank you. Probably a patient's family member too, he's a good person. I hope his family member recovers soon too. Joseph appeared in many places in my life. Only I didn't know. Mom is also very satisfied with Joseph. She and Joseph discussed the wedding plans. I didn't tell her that Joseph and I had been married once before, but well, having another wedding is fine. After leaving Mom's house, we passed by the Civil Affairs Bureau on our way back. On an ordinary, sunny afternoon, Joseph and I got our marriage certificate. After getting home, we sunbathed on the balcony. I flipped through the pile of diaries I brought back from home, reminiscing about my past with him. The afternoon sun was warm and lazy. I yawned. He said softly, do you want to go to the room to sleep? I shook my head, I want to sunbathe. I rested my head on his shoulder and dozed off. On a spring afternoon, the warm sun was just right. I had a dream. In the dream, it was a stormy southern town. I was hiding at home. The wind howled in my ears. Someone covered my ears. Don't be afraid, little sister. Extra story Joseph. Summers and autumns in the southern coastal areas are prone to typhoons. I was picked up by Lauren on a typhoon day. She was running home with a small umbrella. Seeing me by the roadside, she came up and asked, "Big brother, a typhoon is coming, aren't you going home?" I was waiting for my bodyguard to come find me. Of course, I didn't tell her that. Seeing that I ignored her, she tugged at my sleeve. "It's about to rain. If we don't go now, we'll be drenched like drowned rats. My house is nearby, let's go to my place." She couldn't pull me. Seeing that I didn't move, she looked a little dejected, tilted her face up and asked me, "Why aren't you moving?" She was a tiny little thing, looking very easy to bully. On a whim, I pinched her cheek. She froze. "Why did you pinch me?" She looked silly. She muttered under her breath, "Pinch if you want, it's going to rain. If you pinch me, you have to come home with me." She pulled me to her house. She was the only one at home. She moved a small stool to reach the table. She took 2 small loaves of bread from the table and gave me one. She then went to get milk. The milk was in a 1.8-liter container, too big for her. She wobbled as she carried the milk, like a little penguin. After finally reaching me, she couldn't open the cap. So clumsy. I helped her pour 2 glasses of milk, and she immediately cheered up. We held our milk and waited for her mother to come home in her house. Outside, the wind and rain raged. She was right, it really was going to rain. Large raindrops smashed against the world, the sound of wind, rain, and thunder. Lightning illuminated the dark afternoon. She was a little timid, curling herself into a ball, yet still comforting me. "Big brother, don't be afraid, the thunder and lightning will be over soon." I don't know who was actually scared. Another flash of lightning, and I covered her ears. "Little sister, don't be afraid either." She looked up, her eyes sparkling. She hugged me, still trying to be brave. "I'm not scared, I'm hugging you because I'm afraid you're scared." Cute. That day, it thundered and lightninged the entire afternoon. Near evening, her mother finally came home. Seeing me, she picked her up. "Lauren, why did you pick someone up and bring them home again? Where did you pick this one up from this time?" She hugged her mother coquettishly, from the roadside. "It was about to rain, if I didn't bring him back, he would have gotten wet." "Mommy, don't scold Lauren." "Oh, her name is Lauren." So I wasn't the only one she had picked up. After graduating from college and returning to school, I saw her at the freshman welcoming party. I remembered her. She didn't remember me. On this clear night in this northern city, I heard the sound of wind and rain from a July in the south. And her voice in my ear, "Big brother, let me hug you, don't be afraid." I watched her speak on stage, mesmerized. Shining brightly, like a little sun. I want her. I will have her. What should I do? Lauren. You'd better like me too.